believe. They are the Israel of God. They are the real Jews, if you like. As we've often said, end of Romans 2, it's all as plain as a pikestaff. He is not a Jew which is one outwardly, whose circumcision is of the flesh. He is a Jew who is one inwardly, who knows what it is to be cut to the heart, to feel that conviction of sin, that must look for a Saviour, can't live without the Saviour. So she had the answer in her heart, despite the seeming discouragement. I'm not sent, but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Then came she and worshipped him, saying, Lord, help me. I dare to say that probably we all have been like that at times. We come and there's that in our heart that worships him, and we come down to this, Lord, help me. Doesn't take long, does it? A second or two. But it's real. Where it's real, Jesus listens. He seems again to discourage her. Verse 26. But he answered and said, It is not meet to take the children's bread and to cast it to dogs. What would most people say if Jesus said that to them? If they felt that what was being said meant them? Why? They wouldn't have any more to do with Jesus. They wouldn't have any more to do with Jesus. To just suggest such a thing, to imply that she was one of the dogs. Why, who would stop and listen any more? But she stayed. Jesus seemed to speak the worst, but she still hoped the best. And how did she reply to this implying that she was a dog? And she said, verse 27, Truth, Lord. Yet the dogs eat of the crumbs which fall from their master's table. Now, dogs then weren't the sort of pets that are loved and stroked and so on. Dogs were somewhat of a necessity. You had a dog to guard, or perhaps for sheep gathering, don't know. But dogs were their places under the table. They could pick up scraps. They weren't fed with stuff out of a pet food tin. No. Yet the dogs eat of the crumbs which fall from their master's table. Now, see how she turns around what the Lord has said into a further plea. She turns the Lord's words round to bring her in. It's truth, Lord. No dispute. Not saying anything about what thou said. But the dogs eat of the crumbs which fall from the master's table. Not a sort of fond dog owner that sort of takes a little bit of a little tidbit of the meat and just with his hand feeds the dog under the table. No. Crumbs might fall, might only be a bit of bread. Bit of bread with possible a scrap of gravy on it. Just crumbs. And So she makes this plea. And then Jesus answered and said unto her, O woman, great is thy faith. Be it unto thee even as thou wilt. In other words, the woman said, you can't say anything worse about me. It's quite true. I don't deserve anything. I'm not one of those who expect things. Oh, no, Lord, that's not said anything amiss. I'm not expecting because of anything I am, but the dogs eat of the crumbs which fall from their master's table. And you know, it's wonderful if you get a little that feeds your soul. It's from the master's table. It's what the master has provided, and it's come to you. Isn't that wonderful? O woman, great is thy faith. Be it unto thee even as thou wilt. And her daughter was made whole from that very hour. I don't know how far she was from home, how long it had taken her to walk from her home to get to where Jesus was, but instantly, from that very hour, it's not the only occasion when the healing was instant, when Jesus was actually physically miles away from the needy case. But we won't, there are passages that say that more clearly still. Her daughter was made whole from that very hour. Beautiful hour, unforgettable hour. Going home, a daughter with no evil spirit, a daughter, all that a daughter should be, a loving daughter, a daughter ready to help in every way possible. The change. And this is what Jesus can do. He can change a heart, he can change a soul and make them clean and at peace with God and man. And that's as far as we'll go this evening. Alan, if you please go over to him.